Okay, so this is a second lesson to the fancy cube, so kind of lesson 1B. We did forget to save it, so I'll show you how to save. When you press the floppy disk thing here up in the corner, you'll get an option to save. If you click down here, you've got an option to create projects. So let's create a new project. Let's call this grade 9 Fusion lessons. And it'll take a while to save. Remember that Fusion 360 is a cloud-based software, so sometimes things take a little bit longer because it has to go up to the cloud. We're going to call this one lesson 1 fancy cube. And we'll hit save. So now we have our object saved. We forgot to put fillets on it. So if I wanted to add fillets, it's under the modify. So there's the shape, but often in the quick menu you can see fillets. So a fillet is just rounding over the edge. So you can select multiple. You can sort of see in this pop-up here that you've now got 4 edges selected and it's waiting for input of a number. You can put it in either place. It's selected right here, so 2 would be probably a little too much, so let's go 1. It kind of breaks the edge. You can select other ones. I'm out of the selection tool right now, so it's not going to select. So I could add a plus, and then I can go around and I can select. I can also select through the object. So this is the back side if we wanted to select. Now there's 2 corners. There's one down here that we can't see. And then there's one over here, but you can also just rotate it around or orbit around and try to pick that. Anything that's not blue is not selected. Now, here's where it gets tricky. If I hit twice, I unselect everything that I selected. If I hit once, I just go back to my tool and I can select it. And at this point, I can push it in. I can type in 1 to make it consistent with the other ones. You can sort of see that I have 4 edges selected and then 8 edges selected. And they're both the same value, even though I'm showing different value decimal places. There are subtle differences. I'm not sure the differences. I typically just use the default one. And we'll just click OK. So that is what we call fillets. Now there's another tool that is very useful, especially if you're machining a part and you don't want to have a sharp edge, and that's called a chamfer. So a chamfer is the same idea, except for you put basically a flat on the edge. And you could do that to any shape that you want. Let's just keep it there, and we'll see if there's anything else that we want to add. We could show you on the triangle. So let's say we wanted another one. Hit escape to get out of your move. Go to chamfer, and then you can break these edges. And it will select this. So let's just put a 0.5 chamfer on all the edges. You can again revolve or orbit your object. Hit escape. We're still in the selection tool. No, we're not. Okay, so we can click plus. And we can give it a value of 0.5. And we can click OK. So nothing too tricky about that. And I did want to show you how to select a new one. So if we're happy with this one, we're going to hit save. Now it gives you an option. You don't have to name it. If you just do this, it'll give you a version number. And if you click over on your side, you can go to that. So it was these 9 cubes. Sometimes I call it the Rubik's Cube. And I've got a million files here, but we're looking for grade 9. So grade 9 Fusion, grade 9 Fusion lessons. Let's see. So there it is. If you open up the version tab, it'll tell you all your different versions and you can actually access them. You can go back in time here on the timeline. I said before that you're going to create one. So you can move it to wherever you want, and then you can go through it to show how it was created. It doesn't orbit to show you exactly, so there is some use to it, but not a huge amount of usefulness there. But if you ever wanted to edit something, so if I wanted to go back and edit the original shape, I could click down there, I could go edit shape, and I can double click and I could maybe make that bigger, right? So that's pretty useful. And then when I hit finish, it actually makes the object a little bit taller. Okay, so let's say that we wanted to recreate just the cube part, but we want a new design. There's a plus over here that I can use, and that will give me a new object. So I still have that second object behind, but I got a new option here. My origin is turned off by default. I'm going to hit plus. You can sort of see that it shows. Now, if I was to click on the rectangle, let's just put it off somewhere here. And so now I don't know the size of this rectangle, or whether it's a rectangle or whether it's a square. So I can go up to my dimension and I can just hover until it turns sort of a deep blue, and then I can drag upwards. And now I can type my dimension in, and I am still in the dimension tool. So if I hit escape, I'm out of the dimension tool. Often, if you look, you can see that there's shortcuts, like L is, a line is L, rectangle is R, circle is C. So for dimension, it is actually D on the keyboard. And then you could type in 30. So let's say that we wanted to center it to the origin. We could also do a dimension to something like that. So if I grab the origin and then I grab the top line, now half of 30 is going to be 15. So I can hit 15, and I can do the same thing for the other dimension. So one of the things that you'll notice is that now I have it fully dimensioned. You can move your dimensions to make them look better. But you'll notice that the color of the square has turned all black, and that is useful because now you know that it's fully constrained, and when you finish it there's no uncertainties. And once again, you can go home, you can extrude, you can pull it out. Let's say that you forgot. You can do dimensions here, I believe. So let's do escape, D for dimension, click here, no. Okay, so to make that change, you would go down to the bottom, you do a right click, edit feature, and now you've got a distance here that you want to change. So that would be 30. And I put 2 decimal points in, so that's, and it's giving me a new body. So that is the second video. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay, good luck. Have fun.